Good Saturday afternoon, everyone. I'm WCIA3 meteorologist Jacob Dickey. We're going to talk more about some of this wintry mix that's in spots here and keep our eyes on things. As far as the looks right now, Bloomington right now, getting on some of that snow here in downtown finally as that freezing line starts to shift here in the next few hours. We're going to be watching that pretty closely here. Most of us, I think, are stuck in a cold rain. If you let me know what you have, where you live, in the comments there, you can say, hey, I'm in Georgetown, I've got a cold rain. Or if you're over in Delavon, you got some snow over there. Wherever you are, let me know. We appreciate those ground reports too. We only have so many cameras. Radar, of course, doesn't give us actually what's happening in the ground. That radar beam shooting in the atmosphere above it. Sometimes things can happen below there that we don't quite pick up on. So those reports are greatly appreciated here. Particularly interested in snow, freezing rain, and sleet. Cold rain, though, we know there's a lot of you that are going to be stuck in that during the day today. What we'll do is we'll talk about our current conditions. We'll look at radar. I've got updates on traffic conditions, and then we'll talk more about what the next couple of hours bring here. Just a quick update. Some other housekeeping. We do have a newscast tonight at 6, pending basketball. I think it's going to be on time. I don't think there's going to be any delays in that because we're almost at halftime of the game on CBS, and I'm pretty sure it's straight into us after that. And then we'll have it 9 and 10 tonight as well. And if needed, we'll jump on in and talk more here on social media. Some of us getting some good snow out there as expected. Others of us will stay in that cold rain until after sunset. A number of us missing out completely as forecast for us here. Of course, those latest forecast updates I'll have for you at 6. Once we get off here, I'll update that. But we're still looking at that snowfall map and thinking it's going to hold steady. But I have some questions there that we'll be sure and talk about. Let's talk about the Skycam here. First off, Bloomington. How about that? There's a little bit of snow on there. It looks like there's some roads starting to be covered with some of that slush and ice. I can see some tire tracks down there. We're going to take a view through the area, and we'll kind of move from northwest to southeast here. So I want to jump back even further to the northwest to our sister station in Peoria. That's looking at the river. You normally would see downtown, just beyond that in the East Peoria, where that harbor is and whatnot. If that is definitely showing some signs of some heavier snow there. Looks like the parking lots are covered in snow. We'll jump up to Pontiac as well. Pontiac will be the big winner for snowfall in central Illinois in our viewing area today. We said that would be the place that would have the most, and it's coming down at a steady clip there. You're seeing snow covering roofs, on the roads, on sidewalks, and on grassy areas. Have not gotten a measurement there yet, so if someone's in the chat, we'll go back and look and see if there's any numbers. And I do have some numbers also that I'll share for you from the National Weather Service. Springfield right now has been staying mainly a cold rain, but I've seen a few flakes pass from time to time. The snow not that far out of town. Let's jump on over. I do want to go up to Chicago. Normally we'd be able to see the Magnificent Mile here. That is actually moving. I can see a few things there. They got some heavy snow there in downtown and the Loop and whatnot. Again, normally you would see all the downtown buildings there. You know, you see the Sears Tower or whatever they call it now, the Hancock Tower, all of that. You'd see all those big skyscrapers. Can't see it. They're missing out there. We'll jump on into Decatur and then make our way to the east and south then. Here's a look in Decatur. We've been a cold rain through the day today. No snow there. And we've been monitoring things across central Illinois. Probably going to maybe get some later. Gibson City, we need to head up there and check in there. Just rain, no snow down yet. We may be in a little trouble for the snowfall map in Gibson City. That's right on that tight gradient, though. The snow, though, according to the radar and IDOT, is not far away from Gibson City now. We'll keep sneaking on to the south here. We'll jump into Champaign. It's been a cold, drizzly rain here today. Just a really raw day for Champaign-Urbana. No ice yet, but that's probably going to change here in the next couple of hours for a number of us along Interstate 72 as we get some moisture wrapping around. And then let's see, I have to do Mattoon and Charleston. And I don't feel good about Mattoon and Charleston's chances to see much of anything here. So here comes Mattoon. If I press the button right, and you'll see that camera load up there. It has been a cold rain. Charleston, much the same. A cold rain for them. All right, so there's our Skycam loop. Let's talk more here about those temperatures. This has been where we've been watching through the day today. Finally seeing some near or below freezing. Jacksonville below freezing, Pontiac below freezing, right at 32 in Bloomington and Watseka, 34 in Springfield and Lincoln. Those are the areas that are seeing some of that wintry mix now. We're still just a hair too warm in Champaign, Danville, Decatur, and Taylorville, 36 and 37 there. Still 39 and 41 in Mattoon and in Effingham. I don't think they're going to get much of anything here. Maybe a quick couple of flakes later on tonight as the last band wraps on around. Still have that north and northeast wind here. That's cooling things off. Temperatures are slowly going on down, and of course what that means is radar here starting to see that snow line finally this afternoon evening. We said closer to sunset it'd start to pivot more to the south and east. Menard, Cass, Morgan County have been dealing a mix of freezing rain, sleet, and now some snow showers there. It's showing some light snow in the Springfield area, but you know that line is arbitrary. And again, you'll see here pretty close here in southern Fort County, southeastern Iroquois County, right along 136 in McLean County. That's that transition as we see that cold air pivot in a little bit more. That should start transitioning over some more here over the next couple of hours. However, one thing that I've become a little concerned about when I zoom the radar out, do you see all of this right here? There's missing data there, and it's not because it's not being put in, it's because dry air is being pulled into the system. And that may end up ending our moisture a little quicker than we thought, which may mean those snow totals are a little on the lower side, and that transition line may not have a chance to get more in here. We're still thinking this band is going to wrap on around, and it may end up staying north of Interstate 72 and over towards Danville, along and north of there. So that's the concern right now. One thing I saw is like, uh-oh. So we'll watch and see how this dry air works on out. There still have been some light flurries reported and some light drizzle and freezing rain in that area. I was checking some of those observations. So while it's not getting a steady moisture, some light freezing drizzle, that could be problematic if that ends up coming our way. Let's talk about those road conditions. This is the latest from IDOT. To generalize, Livingston County, they're reporting mostly to totally snow covered here, and it is a quick cutoff with southward extent. Some of those rural roads are showing a little bit of slush where some sleet has fallen as well. Same for McLean County. It seems like I-55 is the divider there. And then we've had some partially to mostly covered, to mostly covered roads here from Lincoln, northwest of Springfield. Excuse me. It's been a long time since I've had to sneeze on a camera. So that's where it is here. Roads are still good in Champaign County. They're still good in Decatur. No problems at all, Mattoon, Paris, and Effingham. As the temperatures drop tonight, though, any moisture on the roads, we do have wind, which will help dry them up a little bit. But we still think there could be some slick spots further to the south here. These impacts line up pretty well with our winter weather alerts that are out there. And you can see here we still have that winter weather advisory for Cass, Morgan, Menard County, as well as McLean, Fort, Iroquois, and Livingston County. That's about where we expect most of those impacts here. Do we have some, what's the proper word I would say? Do we have some optimism for Champaign-Urbana? Yeah, we're optimistic, but I don't know if that optimistic is put in the right place to get us some snow here. You remember our snowfall map that we had showed that sharp cutoff right to the north here, and that seems to be playing out. It may end up being a little further to the north, but it is a sharp cutoff that is there north of town. So we may get a dusting if that band wraps around and helps out here. Seems like Pontiac probably going for a couple of inches there. Bloomington normal working well. So I feel good about this, but I'm worried that dry air may mean it's closer to the bottom ends of these ranges here, and some spots may miss out on that transition zone. That'd be expected. Other things, sleet, of course, we've been watching for sleet in there. Had a number of reports. I saw a few in the chat. We'll take a couple more looks at that, but we're still looking at this with that moisture lasting perhaps into tonight. Let's take a look at future track and show you what we're expecting here. First off, here we are right now. Overall, doing a pretty good job with the placement of that freezing line. Champaign was sitting, it's a little, showing a little warm on the snowier side. It's a little cool right in here. We were at 37, Pontiac was at 31. So the cold is a little bit off, but I think it gives us a good picture of what's happening over the next couple of hours. Here we go by 8 o'clock. This is a lot lighter blue than what's being seen now, and I think that's some light snow showers, some light flurries that are mixing on in. I do have some worries, though, if it's more drizzly in nature, that we may have some freezing rain that builds back on in a few spots. So that may lead to some slick spots out there. Not a major event, but you'll notice tonight Future Track still wants to bring that light snow band on through, but you see by midnight to 4 a.m. here, it doesn't look nearly as impressive as it slides on through. That right there is the hope for a lot of us that want some snow. That right there would be it. You have to get that wraparound band here. A lot of us will have to wait until later on tonight for that as it moves on through. And then as we roll into tomorrow, 8 a.m., a couple of lingering snow showers. We may have a lake effect snow band that sneaks down eastern Iroquois County, northeastern Vermilion County, parts of Benton County, Indiana. We'll watch that. That would not lead to very many high totals, but it may keep some flurries sticking around. And you can see that lake effect snow band then continues to pivot as the wind turns to the north and west. Temperatures, teens and 20s as we go into Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. And then by Monday morning here, temperatures really dropping down to the teens and 20s again, according to Future Track. So one more look. Again, here we go, 4, 5, 6. Oop, I clicked a little fast there. Here's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Now we're at 1 o'clock. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. By tomorrow, I think a lot of things are out of here. It's not going to be big problems, but again, the smart thing is an abundance of caution when it comes to winter weather events like this. If you start seeing snow, you can think that the roads might have a little ice. If your car thermometer says 32, 33, start thinking about, oh, there could be a few slick patches there. If you see snow in the grass, your roads are probably already covered too a little bit. So we'll keep you updated. So I don't expect a whole lot of snow really in these areas with that last band either tonight. It seems like it'll be more like some light, fluffy snowflakes that sneak on in, and we're talking a dusting out of that here. You know, it does try and bring some flakes down to our friends at Effingham, Mattoon, and Paris, and I'll be hard-pressed to think that we wouldn't get much more than a dusting even that far south. So we'll watch and keep you updated on that. That is what I have for you. You know, there it is. We talked about it. It's settled right north of town. Champaign usually sits in that warmer side of things where we get rain, and if it tries to get cold enough, we get some sleet. I think eventually we'll see some flakes fly in Champaign-Urbana, but it may take a little while here. Springfield, we've had a few flakes fly through the day. Decatur's been in the cold rain. I-70 looks a little drier right now, and so there are some concerns for that drier air as well. The moisture, not as much as we had expected with this band, but still, some of that snow coming down in a pretty good clip in Livingston, McLean counties. All right, I'll tease it again. I saw William in the comments mention that. I like next Thursday overall. It's still a long ways away, but I like that pattern because it looks like it's going to be a clean snow event. Now, that doesn't mean the area of low pressure can't jump south and miss us a little bit or lift more to the north, but the cold air will already be in place. We won't be fighting this freezing line on next Thursday, Wednesday night into Thursday. There's been some good guidance that supports overall a nice system sneaking on in, and so we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, but just keep in mind, plenty more chances. If you're disappointed, say, you know, I wanted snow. If you didn't want snow and you're not getting it, you're welcome. But good luck runs out eventually, we think. It's bound to, the way things look. So I'm going to jump back to the sky cams real quick. Then we're going to look at those viewer reports and then answer any questions you may have. Again, there's Charleston. I'm going to go back to Pontiac. It's coming down pretty good there. It looks pretty nice there. A little bit of a winter wonderland finally. And I was most interested in Gibson City because our camera is showing that it should be transitioning over, but I don't see any evidence. Maybe a few flakes. I'm catching little blips here and there. I know we got some folks, a couple of flakes mixing on in now perhaps. So it's probably a mix of snow and freezing drizzle in there, and I'm sure I'll see some in the reports too. All right, let's sneak on through the chat. Start back at the beginning. Mattoon, only rain. Susan, down in Toledo. That's a nice place in Cumberland County. Rain, not surprised by that. We've got rain in Bismarck and Vermilion County. Carrie in Bloomington saying she's got ice. Yeah, it really looks like that some parts, and I see that with IDOT also, that the northwest side of Bloomington normal is getting more snow, where the southeast side is getting less snow. So, you know, getting a mix of it there definitely in Bloomington, whereas we're getting it as more rain down here. Light snow in Towanda starting to stick to the grass. A lot of cold rain reports. Vermilion County, cold rain. Hope saying Jacksonville is a cold rain. Now, the interesting thing, Hope, is with Jacksonville, if it's a cold rain, it may be a little deceiving, where it may be freezing rain, especially since the airport there, the ASOS site, is reporting 31 for a temperature. So if it's rain coming down, but your temperature below freezing, that's freezing rain technically, and can sometimes glaze elevated surfaces and bridges, even roadways a little bit. And if you get some sleet mixed in there too, that also is a little bit of a concern. Definitely cold rain though, these other places where those temperatures are. Clinton, only rain. Saybrook, a little sleet. Saybrook sits right here. So a little bit of sleet mixing in there. More rain. A mix of rain, sleet, and snow up in Onarga on I-57 in Iroquois County. A bit of rain and sleet also in Paxton. Piper City got snow. Not surprised about that. I had some snow earlier in Cabery and Kempton. Cropsey, a little light snow there. Snow and sleet in Bloomington. We are seeing some rain and sleet in Paxton. Cold rain in Bellflower. A little bit of sleet in Atlanta. That's going to be in Logan County, northeast of Lincoln there. Okay, Chatsworth at 4 o'clock. Chatsworth sits right here. They're reporting a ½ inch of snow at 32 degrees. Here's one. Everyone get them. Get them. Look at that. 98. Someone watching from there. Iowa City getting 7 to 10 inches of white stuff. Yeah, Iowa's getting quite a bit of that snow up there. And we'll take a look at some of those regional reports. A little freezing rain in Bloomington being reported. Alan asking about a non-event in Champaign-Urbana. We said that the snow would hold off. It'd be a cold rain during the day in town. That's been the forecast, and that tonight then we'll see things transition over, but we're not getting a lot here. That's not been in the forecast for us. Wet snow in Watseka. Lakin sits up here, so Marshall County sits right in here. There's about where Lakin is. There's Peoria, there's Lakin. Got a report there, it's a whiteout. Just rain in eastern Sangamon County. Luke saying you're very unspecific. I don't know how more specific I can be about a total. When I say a dusting, I literally mean a dusting, and that's less than a ½ inch in that white area. You got that 1 to 2 band here, that 2 to 4, and that 3 to 5. We're trending on the lower side probably where that snow is falling, and it's a sharp cutoff with south extent. But tonight then you get some of that light snow wrapping on the backside. It may leave a dusting, which means you get a little covering the grass, maybe a little in the car. But we're not talking numbers in there because we don't think there's really going to be much that's measurable. A dusting generally is considered less than a ½ inch. Paul asking, good question, is the rain going to be freezing up tonight on roads? The question, very important. When you think about the wind can help dry things up, and we'll have a wind out there. But if we have some drizzle tonight, there could be some freezing drizzle in a few spots, so that could be an issue tonight. We're going to watch that closely. We'll watch that closely, but that is a possibility. Here's a good one. Haven't seen snow in my house in Urbana since spring 2021. Makes it sound like it's forever ago. We had snow in April in Urbana. And that was, I guess it's 9 months ago, so. Okay, so there we go. That's it. Look through the comments. We got to the end there. Again, watching that radar, pretty solid with that transition there. North of I-72 by tonight then, I think it'll start to pivot a little more south and things may transition over areas along and south of I-72 generally could get a dusting there. That's not much at all. It's just it's kind of like you putting powdered sugar on a donut. You just kind of coats it a little bit and that's it. Not that I'm hungry or anything. So, All right, other than that, as I look at things here, oh, I wanted to check those other regional reports because I get a list that came on in here. So far, reported in Eureka. Eureka is going to be up toward, these are more towards Peoria here. We've got 2 inches in Eureka, 2 inches near Manitou. We've got 2.5 inches report, and that came earlier from Chillicothe. And we did get, oh, hang on, pressing the wrong buttons here. We did get a number of 4, 5, 6 inch reports. We got a 5-inch report from Galesburg, Burlington, Iowa at 6 inches. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, sitting at 4 inches as of reports come on in. So it looks like Galesburg and Burlington, Iowa, going to be the hot spots so far. Haven't seen a number in Pontiac yet, but there's still time here. And we'll watch and see what that wraparound band does in the backside here later on this evening. But for areas seeing rain right now, it's going to be a dusting, if that. You know, that's Champaign, Decatur points to the south. And by dusting, we say dusting possible, meaning some spots going to miss out completely. Here's an interesting thing here. Let's actually look at this. Okay, this is called our debris tracker for severe weather. Well, we can use the same thing to understand what's happening in the atmosphere. That's an interesting little feature there in Ford County. And what this is we can actually identify the freezing line or the transition from rain to snow. Because we had those reports in Towanda here. This yellow area, when we look at tornadoes, that difference in color, we start seeing yellows and eventually blues in tornadoes, shows that it's highly not correlated, where there's different size and shape objects that are in the air. You know, it's boards, pieces of buildings, furniture, things like that, where it knows, oh, that's something else. Well, here we're seeing still fairly high correlation, but we get these yellows here. What that's telling us is to the north is mainly snow, to the south then is mainly rain, and in the middle here is where you're seeing a mix of rain, sleet, and snow all at one time generally within that transition zone. And it looks like it's setting up from Bloomington right down 165. That takes you to Cooksville. It'll dive south near Saybrook, right through the southern half of Ford County, and eventually it carries off to the east there. So I just kind of noticed that where, you know, I had that graphic up accidentally. And it looks like here, not picking up on much in this area, but some of that I think is because the freezing line is rather close to the radar. Sometimes you can pick up on it, sometimes you can't. It just kind of depends there. It looks like it's going to be right in here, which is about where we thought it was going to be. We'll switch to the Chicago radar too. Again, there's yellows. I think probably Melvin, Roberts, Thawville, Paxton, Buckley, Loda, probably getting a mix of everything, even in Gibson City the way things look, where different stuff falling down at the same time here. And so that's kind of an interesting little tidbit there. All right, that's what we're looking at here, and I'll loop this for you real quick before we wrap up this up. You can see how, I'm going to go back 6 hours. That's about the last time I did this update, where that freezing line has kind of slowly been working its way south, and so there's probably going to be some sleet reports here in Champaign-Urbana in the next couple of hours. As expected, we thought closer to sundown that line was going to push to the south, and that appears to be the case here. So we're getting a little bit of light moisture in Springfield. I do have some concerns that there may be some light freezing drizzle. We said that the ice potential was probably highest in Menard, Cass, and Morgan counties. And that looks to be the case for us here, though that's only a tenth, which can still cause some minor problems, but I don't think we're talking anything near like what we saw last year. And then we've seen that clear through slowly as well to the south. So we'll continue to watch that general progression here where the what rain is left, what drizzle is left will eventually turn to snow. But you can see how that dry air really punching on in here. All that dry air getting pulled into the back side here may cut things off a little earlier than expected. And that's going to be a little problematic for the forecast, snow totals and whatnot. But still some hope that this band is eventually going to push here to the south as that system clears on. But you can see it almost looks like it's evaporating there. So that may be a bit of an issue for us where, you know, Livingston County, the big winner, that transition between Livingston County and Champaign then with the sharp cutoff, looks like it's end up playing out. So, all right, that's what I got for you. Thanks for joining us. We're going to have a live update for you on WCIA3 News at 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock. I'll probably use that only, maybe later 8, 9 o'clock or so. If I need to, I'll jump on Facebook, especially if we start seeing more problems with the pavement conditions and freezing and things of that. When we get black ice, usually what happens is untreated roadways, you got moisture already there, the temperatures drop and it can freeze, and that can kind of cause some slick spots, especially in elevated surfaces. So other than that, thanks for sticking with us here. We're going to watch it through the rest of the afternoon. This is just first round of what likely will be several rounds in the next couple of months. It's winter. About a month or month and a half late, though. We should have had our first snowfall November 24th. We technically got our first one in Champaign-Urbana, that 1/10 of an inch of slushy on the 28th. We have yet to see a solid winter weather event, and I really think Thursday is going to be the day where a good number of us will get that. That's what I got for you. We'll see you tonight at 6 and 10. Check the app and more, and I'll be updating things on there and have those updates out by about 5:30 or so.